Welcome to the Barn Theatre Media Studio. My name is Iwan Lewis, and the Media Studio is a new addition to the Barn Theatre. I'm going to just show you it a little bit. So Ben, move it to the other camera angle for a second. Not that one, the other one. You should be able to see, I'm over here now. And this used to be our rehearsal room for the Barn Theatre. So when we had theatre downstairs just a matter of months ago, there you can see a picture of it there. That's us rehearsing Henry V, and that's Ben-Hur, which we sadly had to close just before all this happened. I think that's a Christmas Carol, which was a sellout run over the last festive period. This was always full of life, and it was how all the shows were developed. They were done in this space here. But obviously, due to COVID-19, we've had to sort of change the way things work. And for the foreseeable future, it's, as you're probably seeing in the news, that there's no future for any live performance. Just to give you a quick potted history of the Barn Theatre, I hope you've all been. If you haven't been, then shame on you. You must come as soon as we're open again. The Barn Theatre launched as a new professional producing house in March 2018. I originally turned up in Cirencester as a 15-year-old on a summer course in the Bingham Hall, and from there met the wonderful Ian Carling, who 10 years later believed in a dream that I had to turn this place into one of the most exciting theatres in the country. And within 1 year of being open, that happened. We won the Stage Award for Best Fringe Theatre in the country. It was the only award that we were eligible for as a 200-seater venue. And most of our shows get pretty outstanding reviews due to the credit of the wonderfully creative and talented people that we managed to somehow drag them into Cirencester to do their very best work. And the theatre really has gained such a huge amount of notoriety, and there's a huge amount of excitement in the theatre industry about the Barn Theatre in Cirencester. But as I mentioned, that's only just the beginning. And what I'm going to do, rather than talk to you about it, you just saw a little brief snippet of it, but I'm going to show you a little video which will show you the journey so far.
In March 2018, we opened our doors to the public with a vision not just to create challenging professional theatre, but to use this as a platform to inspire and bring communities together. Theatre and culture build identity. With theatre and culture in our local life, the community landscape is more vibrant. Local life is enriched. We believe that the benefits of theatre should be available for everyone. Our Theatre for All programme has removed financial barriers, giving disadvantaged people access to the theatre free of charge.
So we were told that we'd come here and have a Christmas meal and then go and watch A Christmas Carol.
Our aim is to make live professional theatre available to everyone and use that experience for positive change. Theatre can be transformational in young lives. Our academy is now in its 4th year, and we continue to build on our vision of bringing the best performing arts tuition to the heart of the Cotswolds. We work hard to make our academy as inclusive and as accessible as possible. Discounts apply for parents with more than one child. Our bursaries help support talented children from less affluent backgrounds. The Academy creates a fun and challenging environment where children can build friendships and develop key skills, not just for theatre, but for life. We are also able to provide real opportunities for students who wish to pursue careers in the arts.
My name is Harry Apps. I am currently playing Marius in Les Miserables in the West End.
Barn outreach and learning programs engage with thousands of people. Our free workshops support the drama curriculum in local schools. Singing and musical theatre workshops in community groups and care homes have helped address issues of isolation. Our Song for Cirencester project in aid of mental health charities brought our community together in an unprecedented way. We've collaborated with many charities in the region, including the Churn Project, to support individuals dealing with the barriers to finding work.
Since working with Iwan, my life's changed. It's given me some purpose, given me an interest, some confidence I was lacking prior to all this.
The Barn Theatre played a pivotal role in the town's 2018 World War I centenary celebrations. Who could forget our record-breaking Human Poppy? Our live streaming work on the annual Advent Festival helped thousands engage and take part in Cirencester's Christmas festivities. In these times of uncertainty, we strive to keep the community together. The theatre may be temporarily closed, but our commitment to you goes on. Even now, our amazing costume department are helping the NHS by making scrubs for frontline workers. We've used our technology to build a free live streaming service that provides much needed community news and entertainment for all the family. Broadcasting every day to keep us all connected. We are not just a theatre. We are the Barn.
So hopefully that gives you a little bit of an insight on what the Barn Theatre does. And that tagline is absolutely true. We are not just a theatre. But theatre is vitally important to us here for our survival. And what COVID has done to this industry that I love so much in the UK has been absolutely devastating. 2 months into lockdown, the whole theatre industry is under threat and on the brink of total collapse. Just this Saturday coming, the 4th of July, restaurants, pubs, I'm sure you're all very excited about that, bingo halls, etc. can now open, but there are still government restrictions in place to prevent theatres doing anything. On the 6th of May, Nuffield Southampton Theatres, a huge theatre down in Southampton, announced that it was going into administration. Sir Cameron Mackintosh, the producer, the legendary producer who produced Les Miserables and Miss Saigon and Martin Guerre, Oliver Twist, he said that the theatres, his theatres in London, he owns a lot of them, are going to be closed until 2021. And the worrying concern for me is the apparent lack of a government plan for the theatre industry as a whole. Those 5 steps that Oliver Dowden gave us the other day, I could have done that drunk and asleep and would have had a better, clearer view of how to move forward. So really nothing really inspiring for anyone who's working in the theatre. Theatre is clearly one of Britain's biggest success stories. It's an economic growth engine. It fuels local economies. It nurtures all of our well-being when we go there, and it brings meaning and dignity to our lives. And as many other sectors are reopening, when it comes to the theatre, we seem to be the forgotten industry, even though we contribute £5.4 billion to the economy annually. But it's not just the effect of theatre directly, it's the hundreds and thousands of creatives and businesses associated with the industry. Props companies, actors, makeup, merchandise, vendors, agents, design studios, casting teams, sound and lighting technicians. The list could go on, and they're all currently, most of them of which are self-employed, so therefore don't get helped by the furloughing scheme. And with the obvious thing with theatre being a very, it's not the most economically gratifying industry. We don't do this for the money, trust me. The self-employed income support scheme really doesn't scratch the surface of what we need. And it was just yesterday that we heard that Broadway is going to be closed until 2021. Cirque du Soleil, the massive circus company that does the Royal Albert Hall in Vegas, has filed for bankruptcy. It's all pretty grim. But what the current situation has taught us is that the Barn has to evolve as an organisation to survive. We've had to find innovative ways to cope with the current predicament. And luckily, this team here has such a unique set of skills that perfectly place us in this market in which we're able to use those skills to our advantage. For all of you that know the Barn Theatre, we're not just an organisation that just sits around and does nothing. We're all about action. And to quote Winston Churchill, never waste a good crisis. Our strength has always been telling stories and promoting our theatre through brilliant video content. And during the last 15 weeks of lockdown, we have set up a live streaming studio, as you've just seen on the video, behind the barn door, creating, developing and producing a range of online content, including general entertainment, children's shows, current affairs programs, news and interest stories, along with some critically acclaimed art content, which we've received national accolades for. We have produced, I think, over 200 separate pieces of unique content during this period, and which by our very own standards is a pretty phenomenal achievement, considering that since lockdowns happened, there's only 6 of us working here. So it has been a monumental task, but we've done some stuff that we're really, really proud of, and some stuff that I hope is a little bit entertaining. So we're just going to show you a few little clips. One of the brilliant shows that has been hugely successful for us has been working with the wonderful Tweedy the Clown. I don't know if you know Tweedy, but Tweedy's a bit of a legend in these parts. He's the clown of Gifford Circus, and I didn't realise he was as popular as he was. But as you've just seen there, a little snippet for you. I'm going to show you one of my favourite routines from his show that we produce here at the Barn Theatre, live streamed on our Facebook and YouTube page, Tweedy's Lost and Found.
Right, let's open it up. Right, up we go. Okay, let's just see if we can get. Oh no, wait. Oh, oh dear. Oh no. What? I'll try bring it back. Come on. Oh, I nearly got it, boys and girls. That's it. Nearly there. I'll just bring my leg out.
Am I live? Yeah, so the Tweedy has been phenomenal. His shows have had celebrities of all levels on it, from Helena Bonham Carter to Hugh Bonneville to Danny Harmer, who was on CBBC a while back, and have been watched by genuinely hundreds of thousands of people. And even when we put it on live, like you now on Zoom Live to me, the average numbers are in the 2,000s plus, so between 2,000 and 3,000 people streaming, going into the Barn Theatre and watching it live from the stage downstairs. The Barn is only 200 seats. We've never had such big audiences. It's incredible. And one of the things that came out of when this all happened was people coming to us and saying, why don't you stream some of your old shows? And we've had some real big hits, but the big problem is rights. So unless the writer has been dead for a significant amount of time, or that they're incredibly generous, but there's not many of those, you aren't allowed to stream the content because of the copyright. But luckily, we did a show last year by a little-known writer called William Shakespeare. And that production of Henry V actually got us our first big national reviews. It was broadly acknowledged as a super hit by the national papers. The Telegraph sort of came to us and said it was really, it defined us as a theatre. And I want to show you a little extract of that production, which we did live stream a few months ago.
My sovereign lord, bestow yourself with speed. The French are bravely in their back and setting, will with all expedience charge on us.
All things are ready, if our minds be so. Perish the man whose mind is backward now. Our hearts are in the trip. You know your places. Our soldiers march away. Now thou please us, God. Dispose today.
So that was our quite out there production of Henry V. I don't know if any of you got to see it, but you know, Shakespeare reimagined for the modern age. For me, it's something that I like to think that Shakespeare is always relevant. And what we did with that production was we based it around Brexit Britain, and we brought sort of a modern feel to it and tried to keep Shakespeare's language and his work alive. And it was wonderfully reimagined by a director called Hal Chambers, who brought that production to us. And again, it wasn't to everyone's taste, but we're not here to pander to everyone's taste. We're here to put stories that we think are important out there. And I think that Henry V was a perfect example of that. And although one of our actually biggest losses, I think we ended up losing about £50,000 on that show alone, it has brought us such notoriety within the theatre industry that it's worth every penny that we lost. And that stream alone ended up on the top 10 lists of The Guardian, papers in Australia, papers in the United States, and news outlets were saying, of all the stuff that's online from theatre point of view, you must see the Barn Theatre in Cirencester's production of Henry V. So we're thrilled with the production. It's not to everyone's tastes, but I think it's all right. And one of the things that we pride ourselves with at the Barn is that we love to support and provide a platform to new writers. So new writers of musical theatre, new writers of plays, but in particular, we focus this period on a concert series that we do on a Saturday night called The Barn Presents, and it's new musical theatre writing. One of the composers that we brought in for our production of A Christmas Carol, Finn Anderson, we invited him to collaborate with a lot of actors that we have connections with, and we do this concert series, which all of this stuff, by the way, you can still see on our YouTube page. But here's an extract from that concert.
These old shoes will outlive me when I'm gone.
They'll outlive me when
These old shoes will carry me on until I find a place where I belong.
These old shoes will carry me on, and no matter how far I stray, I know that they'll bring me back someday. And no matter how far I roam, they'll bring me back home.
They'll bring me back home.
I'll find my way home.
I'll find my way.
I'm on my way home. These old shoes
will carry me on,
and these old shoes
will outlive me when I'm gone.
These old shoes will carry me on until I find
a place where I belong.
These old shoes will carry me on. They'll carry me on.
So I said that was by Finn Anderson. That was actually Ames and Clements, who are a duo who are new composers in the UK. But speaking of Finn Anderson, just in case you're worried that the Barn Theatre makes any money at all, his production, we did The Christmas Carol, was a super hit with us at the Barn. We ran it for the whole of December and into January, and that ended up it sold 100% of its tickets in December and about 90-odd% of its tickets in January, which proves that theatre, believe it or not, actually can be a viable business if you actually get people through the doors. The next thing that I wanted to talk to you about was something that was a really innovative, exciting idea, talking about William Shakespeare and the ability to perform his works in this medium without having to worry about the copyrights on anything. We decided to collaborate with Hal Chambers, who directed our Henry V, and Aaron Sidwell, who was our Henry V, on a project called Bard from the Barn. Not Bard as in Bard from a pub, the Bard. the bard himself. And the idea was that we would take his monologues and perform them under the new circumstances of lockdown. So bring them right up to date. And here's an extract from the first episode of Bard from the Barn.
Oh, for a muse that would ascend the brightest heaven of invention. A kingdom for a stage, princes to act, and monarchs to behold the swelling scene. Then, should the warlike Harry, like himself, assume the port of Mars, and at his heels, leashed in like hounds, should famine, sword, and fire crouch for employment. But pardon and gentles all. The flat, unraised spirits that have dared on this unworthy scaffold to bring forth so great an object. Can this cockpit hold the vasty fields of France? Or may we cram within this wooden O the very casks that did affright the air at Agincourt? Oh, pardon, since a crooked figure may attest in little place a million, and let us, ciphers to this great account, on your imaginary forces work. Suppose within the girdle of these walls, are now confined two mighty monarchies, whose high upreared and abutting fronts the perilous narrow ocean parts asunder. Piece out our imperfections with your thoughts, into 1,000 parts divide one man, and make imaginary puissance. Think when we...
An extract from Henry V, and that was Adam Sopp, who actually was in our production of Henry V, doing the narration over some of the imagery from right at the beginning of lockdown there, when I think the barn had been shut for a couple of days. So really poignant, really resonated. And again, Bard from the Barn just went from strength to strength to strength, and it was ended up being talked about in national papers. It ended up getting hundreds of thousands of views, and it was so successful that we're bringing it back for a second season. We already did over 30 episodes of it, and we've had over 200 different collaborators, so from actors, directors, filmmakers, editors, working on that project. So every single day when the series was running, we released a different monologue. And now it's coming back for season 2, which will now take, rather than monologues, which is one person, it'll be duologues, so 2 people in each episode. And all those are filmed by the actors themselves. The director contributes over Zoom, like we're talking now, a bit of direction on how to do it. Then the files, once they're filmed, are sent to the Barn Theatre team, edited by our team here. There's a couple of great editors, and the sound is edited by the team here, music put over the top, sound effects, and then we release it. It's like a constant, it's like a machine in industry, just constantly churning out content. It's quite exciting. But here is the season for season 2, which, can somebody tell me what date that's going out? The 6th of July, I believe. Monday, the 6th of July is when season 2 starts. So roll that footage. As well as all of that creative online content that we've been putting out there, we felt as an organization that it was vitally important that we kept people connected during this time, especially when lockdown was, you literally can't leave your house. And we wanted to, Ben, you've chucked something on the front there, get rid of that. What we did was focus around community needs. And so some of the images you're seeing now, we did a health and fitness class with David Long from CrossFit Cirencester. We had Dawn Harper, Dr. Dawn Harper, giving medical advice. We had Jeffrey Clifton Brown showing, he was speaking about all the news that was coming direct from Westminster so that we could actually know what was going on. And we had Joe Harrison, the Cotswold District Council, start his show, which would give all the updates on some of those local issues as well. And another thing was that VE Day has happened during lockdown. And VE Day, we were meant to have some hugely exciting celebrations in Cirencester. So the Barn Theatre, we felt like we wanted to contribute to that as well. So here's a little extract from our efforts.
So will you please say hello to the folks that I know? Tell them I won't be long. They'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song.
You don't want to hear me sing for too long. That is actually me singing. So, you know, and again, obviously, it's so sad to think that Vera Lynn has now passed. What an incredible song that is, and what a joy it was to sing it for VE Day. And that ended up getting a lot of likes and shares around the Cirencester community. So any little part that we could play, we wanted to make sure that we offered what we could to serve this community during lockdown. Our aspiration is to take those creative skill sets of the team that we've got here and build now, moving into the future, the country's most forward-thinking digital studio, which we've now built, and do it in a similar timescale to what we've achieved with the theatre. So these are two organisations working arm in arm. So instead of the Barn Theatre, we now become the Barn. And the Barn has Barn Theatre and Barn Media. So we're going to open up a new income stream, which will help, for me, more of that community stuff, develop other businesses in this community further and help protect us financially if a disaster like this was to ever happen again. Our future aim, though, is to make these skills available to other businesses to help them grow and prosper and develop those high-skilled jobs here in the Cotswolds for a new generation of young people, working with schools and colleges to help build and support a digital infrastructure in the region. Video content at the moment for any company marketing strategy is no longer just an option. It's vitally necessary to any marketing puzzle that could make or break the success of any brand. And we've already started working, using the skills we have here with businesses locally. This is a video that we made for Gifford Circus last week when they launched their new drive-through circus sauce. The restaurant's called Circus Sauce. Well, this was flying sauce.
Thanks, sweetie.
So marketing videos with a difference, really bringing that, what we bring to the party, which is that story element, making sure that it's entertaining, but really selling what the business wants to get out there in the best way possible. Gifford's opened its flying sauce takeaway on Saturday night, and they expected to have 20, 30 covers. They had 80 covers in the first night. So just by getting that video had over 10,000 views online by local people. So 10,000 local people who all then ended up knowing, and many ended up eating from that business. So we know that our skills can go now beyond the Barn Theatre. And speaking of Gifford Circus, one of the things that I really hit a chord with me was when I heard about some of the performers from Gifford Circus who had been stranded on Fennel's farm down in Stroud. And it was really important to me that we did something to support them. So we did a bit of a fundraiser for those performers who may not be UK nationals, who don't fall under the self-employed income support scheme, who couldn't go home because they couldn't afford it. You know, the circus performers, they are a traveling group of people and a traveling community, so they don't tend to have the ability to survive months on end without their main source of income. So we did a fundraiser and we did an event at the barn called the Circus Cabaret. I don't know if you saw it, but just in case you didn't, here's one of the acts. And that's the wonderful Tatiana from, I think she's from Moscow in Russia, who is currently stranded at Fennel's farm. Again, for the Circus Cabaret, you can just go onto our YouTube page and you can see the whole show there. The talent is phenomenal and all recorded just downstairs in the Barn Theatre. As well as all of our media efforts, where we're going with trying to work with local businesses and local organizations. We have another exciting announcement to make. The Barn Theatre is about to announce that it will now also operate as a cinema for Cirencester. Before this can happen, we have had to fundraise and invest money in a new projector that works so that we can have the latest films playing from here. And we've had to adapt a lot of the infrastructure at the barn to make these changes. In total, we are spending about £80,000 to make these changes. We've already raised £50,000 in pledges. So we're looking to bridge the gap. So if you know anyone who'd like to contribute to the final 30K, please, you know where I am, you know where the Barn Theatre is. If you've got any, we have a couple of different match funding deals. So even if you were to just contribute something or to speak to businesses, organizations, like the gentleman before was saying, just passing on the message is good enough, really, because somebody will realize that Cirencester wants and needs a cinema, and you're not just investing in Cineworld or the Odeon big companies, you're investing in a theatre which has the Barn. The Barn Theatre has Cirencester, its community, its people at the very heart of everything we do. And that's all we want to do, is survive. It was important, we could say, okay, well, that 50, 80 grand or whatever it is, why can't you just spend it on, scale everything down and survive? Well, we weren't going to. We have no answer to when our next source of income is going to be. So by raising that money to now put it towards something that could give us a sustainable income to keep all these things that you're seeing tonight going. And that's all we want to do. We want to survive. This is a charity here at the Barn Theatre. We think that we provide something wonderful to the Cirencester landscape. I love being here. The team are wonderful. We want to keep it together, and we want to make sure that the Cirencester, for generations to come, has an arts venue that it's proud of, that constantly tries to spread the word of how much we love Cirencester. But okay, just, I've rambled on along a lot now, and that brings us to the end. I'm just going to give us another little plug. I know I've just said it, but if you feel able to support the Barn, our cinema pledges, or our Save Our Barn campaign, please do so. If you're able, you can just go to thebarntheatre.org.uk and you can support us there. That's everything from me, folks. I hope that was interesting. I hope you've seen a lot of stuff that you may not have seen on the social medias and the internet, but hopefully it's given you an insight into what is just in your community now. So, folks, I can't hear the applause, but it looks good. I think Ben's going to hand back over.
Iwan, that was brilliant, very interesting and so well put together. You clearly, and Barn clearly needs to succeed. Thank you very much on behalf of President Mark and their team here and their partners. Absolutely wonderful. You deserve, all the success that you can achieve, blending it in with Cirencester as a community. Brilliant, well done.
Thank you very much. We'll keep pushing on.
Good. We'll come and see you.
Perfect. Thank you, folks. We'll see you on the other side.
Okay. Good luck. You
Cheers.
can stay with us if you like.
Can we ask questions?
Oh, Eddie, if you want to ask some questions, please do so.
May I, Mark? Vince?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, that was fantastic, Ewan. I certainly learned a lot about the Barn Theatre and what you're trying to do from that. I do have a couple of questions in relation to projects that we've got running as a club. The first one you may or may not have heard about, because I think Phil, one of our members, has been in touch with somebody from the Barn on this. And that is a Rotary Active Family Fun Day that was supposed to be happening last Saturday at the Sixth Form College. The whole intention of that event was to bring together providers of sports for activities and fitness activities on a giveaway. It was a financed, a funded event, in which case where such providers would be able to come along and show their wares with a view to trying to engage with young people, get them to engage with staying fit and healthy. And it was supposed to be leading, and it would have been leading to a funded kind of bursary scheme where we could help out those that are underprivileged to access such sporting events. In the absence of being able to do it on Saturday, and it has now been put back to next year, somebody came up with the idea, it wasn't me, of maybe trying to do some sort of virtual event that actually brought people together, brought some of these sporting providers together on a virtual event, live streaming, to try and sort of again promote it in a way that that takes us into next year when we can do a live event. So my first question would be, would you be able to, maybe it's a discussion outside of this, be able to consider how you could work with us and making that happen? And then just to add to that, it struck me as you were speaking, we have another project that we're working on, and the whole idea of this project is in partnership with the Bingham Library Trust, and also funded through the St James Place. The idea of that is to bring together the community business people that trying to reach out to those that are around up to the age of 30, young people, to bring them together into some sort of network that will understand more about what Rotary do in terms of trying to work within the community and help and support the community, and to engage in those kind of those activities themselves. And so again, that might be something you could work with us on in trying to make happen.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like you've just seen with the content that we've provided, the community is really important to everything that we do here. My dream is to make sure that a theatre is seen in the same light as a church or an organisation like the Rotary or anything, that it is a community organisation. So, having said all that I've just said, if I wasn't to want to get involved with a project like that, then I wouldn't be sort of following my own gospel. So yes, of course, Phil is in touch. So let's throw the ideas at me, or if you want some of my ideas, tell me more about the event. Phil has mentioned the event before. I think we were going to try and do something at it. But let's get the conversation started. I'm sure we can do something.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, anybody? You're all wowed by the...
I answered all queries.
Well, maybe could you help us promote the photo competition, Johan?
Sorry, what was that?
The photo competition.
Yeah, sorry, Phil. You're a bit fuzzy on the sound bit. Could you help us promote the photo competition that's going out for the next 2 months? So that's what he was asking.
Absolutely. So how is if somebody can explain to me, it doesn't have to be on this call now, but explain to me what the photo competition is and how it's functioning. I'm sure there'll be ways in which that we can push and promote it from our channels.
Okay, Phil, over to you on that one.
Okay.
You could even live stream the winner. You know, you can have it all up there. We can vote. It can be like Pointless. Or you can I guess what I'm saying, just to make it really clear, if anyone has any ideas of how the barn, its media facilities, what we do here, can help this community, whether it's the Rotary or any other organisations, then please, I'm all ears. We are here. This is your theatre. It's not my theatre, it's your theatre. We're here to support you guys.
Good, thank you very much. Anybody else? Oh, Jerry. Oh, you'll have to unmute yourself, Jerry. Jerry, you'll have to unmute yourself. No? I'm not.
Okay, fine, thank you.
Yeah.
Can you just tell me, please, silly question perhaps, but how do you make your money at the moment? How do you get revenue?
Currently, well, I would say that ticket revenue was 90% of how we made money. Obviously, when the doors shut, that stopped. So currently, the way we're doing it is we have received some funding from the Arts Council, but that really can only sustain us for a month or so of not having employment. We have been going out for donations. So we have a very generous and supportive community here. So the people who are true Barn Theatre super fans have been helping us pay the wages. Also, we have gone to big trusts and foundations who support the arts, big national trusts and foundations, the National Lottery. Basically, we've got our cup asking for people to help us at the moment, and that's keeping us alive. Everything with Barn Media, now that we're subcontracting our skills that we have here to provide marketing content for businesses, that's now starting to take off. So we will start seeing some victories there soon, and that's probably the most sustainable way of going forward, but it isn't going to take off immediately. Everyone is suffering. I'm fully aware that it has been, you know, the virus is bad enough, but I think what's going to happen to the economy is going to be just as bad or worse. And so, you know, businesses aren't wanting to spend the money at the moment. So we're doing quite a lot of speculative stuff. We're doing amazing deals at the moment. If anybody does want any marketing content, but in reality, we will need some support going forward. Hopefully, cinemas being opened, if we can bridge that 30 grand pretty soon, then we can start getting people through the doors at a safe social distance, in a safe environment. We already are, we're about due to open our restaurant Teatro on Saturday. And we already have nailed all the procedures to make sure that's a safe space to go. So worries about coming into a building, you shouldn't have them at all. Because we know how to do it safely. The restaurant knows how to do it safely. So we're going to try and push that we can get something on, whether it's cinema, or hopefully we'll hear from the government very soon about getting live theatre back up and running. But as I said from the presentation, it's not looking great.
Thank you.
Christine wanted to say something, Mark.
Okay, Christine.
Yes, hi Ewan. I just wanted to say thank you. I really enjoyed that, and I really admire the scale of your ambition to go from being a very good theatre to the scale of activities that you're undertaking now. I think is fantastic, and long may you continue.
Thank you, Christine. We're such a hungry team here at the barn, and you know, I'm in my early 30s. I'm 31, and you know, there's only one gent who's older than me in this place. He stood over there, and you know, we are, maybe ignorance is bliss, because we just don't know when to say no. I don't accept that. Whilst I've seen the industry, the theatre industry in particular, sit and do nothing during this period, and like us, put our hands out saying that you should support us. Well, I wasn't comfortable being given free money. I wanted to earn it. I wanted to show the value of the Barn Theatre and what it does for this community and what it'll continue. And it's only going to get more. We're only going to do more and more and more, and show all of you folks that you don't want to lose us.
Great.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Yes, Mark, please. Ewan, thinking on my feet a little bit, something we might be able to do for you and you do for us free of charge is we run a website This event is being recorded. Would you have any objections to seeing it available on our website to anybody who wanted to watch it?
I have no issues with that whatsoever.
Okay, and at the same time, would it be okay if I grab one or two of your banners from your website just to highlight Barn Theatre as part of that?
Yeah, no problem. If you just whatever you need, let the lads here know, and we'll be able to send over any images or anything you need.
Great. Okay, and also we could share each other on our Facebook pages as well, which would be more in Phil's domain than mine.
Absolutely.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
I think Mike Martin wanted to just say something, so over to you, Mike. No, I can't. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, right, clear. Ewan, personally, I'd like to say thank you. I know when Philip put forward the idea of you talking to us about the barn, you know, I wondered what it was going to be, but actually, terrific, to say performance you put over and a show, but thoroughly enjoyed it. We hope it succeeds. Everything you're doing, brilliant, and well, carry on the good work. But thank you once again.
No, thank you, folks, for listening to me harp on for 45 minutes. You know, especially at this time, it's good to know, you know, what a wonderful community we have here, and I'm thrilled. Whenever you need me to do anything, you know where I am.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? No, I shall.
Brilliant.
Right, I was going to say, could you sing us out? But perhaps not. What song would you have in mind for a bunch of old... Yeah, never mind.
We're old enough to be your granddad, some of us.
Pass the virtual hat round for the... If you donate something as small as £1 to the Barn Theatre, I will sing you a song right now. Deal?
Deal. I'm looking round at everybody.
I'm making a tenner. Extra one.
Okay, so Welsh or English?
Oh. Now, bearing in mind you're in the West Country, that's a bit of a tricky question. Go on, Welsh.
I'll give you a Welsh song, okay. Okay. Nid yw'n gofyn bywyd moethus, a'r y byd neu berlau man. Gofyn rwyf am calon hapus, calon onest, calon lan. Calon lan yn llawn daioni, tecach yw na'r lili dlos. Dim ond calon lan all gani, cani'r dydd a chanu'r nos. I didn't expect to sing, so my voice wasn't exactly warm.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Your voice sounded lovely earlier on. Well, thank you so much for everything. That was fantastic. And I think you've got a few people here that'll be, well, I've been and I loved it at the Barn Theatre, and I know many of us have, and we will again, and we'll support you in everything we can and everything we do. You do. So well done. Thank you. Thank you for coming to see us. Thank you.
We'll leave you to your evening now, and I look forward to seeing you on the other side.
Thank you very much. And you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Well, that was excellent, I have to say. Who do we have who can sing? No. I think that's it. The next, oh, unless there's any other members with announcements, anybody with anything to say? No? In other words, follow that, you know? No, I don't think we can. So our speaker next week is, oh, Alan, do you want to say something? Or?
Well, John Stewart had his hand up.
Oh, sorry. If you unmute yourself, John, I don't know if I can do that. No, unmute yourself. Yep, there you go.
Okay. Mark, can I just take a chance to say thank you as a prospective member? who hasn't paid any dosh yet, so I'm not actually a member of the group. To say thank you, and to Sean especially for setting up the telephone groups, because I found discussions with Andy and Trevor and Stephen very, very useful. And I feel extremely welcomed into a group where I don't know anybody. I've never met anybody face to face. So I'd like to throw open, if anybody fancies a beer in a garden at some stage in the next few weeks, I'm more than willing to meet anybody. So just thank you for Sean for setting up that, and to the 3 people I've talked to. It's been incredibly useful. I'm very excited about joining, and it's all been hunky-dory so far. So thank you very much.
Could you send your email address then, just in case somebody want to take you up on it, to John, our secretary? Do you have his email address?
I don't. I can send it to Sean or through Sean.
Send it to Sean then, and then everybody can come round at the same time.
I've got John's email address, so I can send it. So
okay, thanks, Vince. Thank you.
And John, just so you know, I finished my walk meeting up with very good friends in St Albans. I think you might know the area quite well.
Well, we lived there for 15 years, so I don't
exactly.
I know it quite well, yes.
Good. Anything else from anybody else? Yes, Yvonne, carry on.
Could I just wish Alan and his wife good luck, and we'll be thinking of you.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Hold on. Have you got a first aid trailer following you, Alan?
Yeah. I've got a private ambulance. It's costing me a bomb.
Well, very good luck.
The best.
Well, I have one further announcement to make, is that yesterday it was Stephen Lambert Humble's birthday. So congratulations.
Thank you,
Anybody else for anything else? No, I can't see anybody waving. Without further ado then, the next meeting is next week, and it's Dr. Simon Fox QC, and he's talking about from 80-hour shifts on the wards to may it please your lordship. So so I don't know if Alan can make that one when he's on his trip. Otherwise that'll be it. So the final thought is Rotary around the world, and I was going to couple it with Fishponds and Downend because Judy was with us earlier from Fishponds and Downend, but she's had to go to another meeting. So anyway, Fishponds and Downend and Rotary around the world, and thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Good.
Good night. Good night.
Bye.
Everybody.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye. Bye.